Panic. Generally, I have it set to starting soon here so I can make sure I get all my stuff set up so you guys don't stare at me. Oh, Evie's on the move. She can tell that I'm live. Oh, and she hit a button. Turned my Xbox off. Or turned the screen off. That's awkward. Oh, she's going crazy. She's going crazy. Usually I have the stream starting soon here little thing playing, so bear with me while I get the stuff set up here. I feel obligated to, continue this because it'd be really awkward to hide myself because I've already committed to it, but thank you for bearing with me here. Hello, Jack. How you going today? I'm doing good, King Reaper. And then I am unable to get dogs, Travis, unfortunately. Dogs are not allowed in my apartment because I live on the 3rd floor of an apartment building, unfortunately. I didn't really intend to get a cat. It just kind of happened also. Like, these things just happened. I was like, why is it? Why is your chat's not populating? What's going on here? Why is it not popping up on the thing of Whoozin'? Let's hold the big chat boxes down here for you. Yeah, it is lame. You are committed, alright, to what I don't know. This is true. I don't know what I'm committed towards either. Ooh. Ugh. Well, usually too, like when I set up my live streams, I have this screen on to where it's like starting soon, so that way I can like click all the buttons where I'm like boop, boop, doop, 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 title screen, boop, 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 description, all this stuff. It gives me time to like set those things in quickly, and didn't do that because I had left my screen on as the intermission screen, so I was like, well, it's a bit too late to uncommit, so that's why I left it as it was. What are you doing, cat? She has been so antsy today. I don't know what it is. I actually had some questions for y'all today, so if you guys could get a pen and paper out, I have some questions to inquire to you about. If you guys don't mind answering some, we can always wait, obviously, a few more minutes for people to trickle in. But that was the motivation for this specific live stream, was because I wanted to ask you guys some questions about what your thoughts and opinions are on some things. Like the spy balloon. What are your thoughts on all these UFOs? Is an alien invasion? Not that specifically, other things, but I wanted to get your guys' take on a couple things. Is there anything good in the Crown Store that they added today? I feel like that February is just such a fruity month for the Crown Store. Like I'm not gonna decorate. Like, who am I? Am I gonna put this in my house? Who do they think I am? Then I want to put something like this in there. Like, look at these little fruit. Oh, actually, that is interesting. This definitely gives off Fallout 76 vibes and not ESO vibes. Love flame candles. Oh, big petals. A sweet roll. Okay, all right. Of all the things, actually, this is actually pretty cool. I'd buy this. That would be it, though. Everything else is just kind of meh, in my opinion. Like, oh, a wedding dress. Oh. But if you guys are here and you don't mind answering some questions, let me know if you guys would be ready. If you could just type like thumbs up or okay, or I'm here and ready. I have a couple questions that I'd like to ask you guys. No pressure. There are no wrong answers, but there are right answers. I'm just kidding. there actually are no wrong answers. It's just something that I want to. There's sometimes like I don't want to ever assume things, you know. Like I don't ever want to just be like, oh well, you know, I assume that, you know, you think this way or that way. So if you would not mind and you're available to help answer questions, I would appreciate it. While I go and pay my dues and hope that these people are more on hold. I'm trying to save more on money because I always freaking waste so much money on way shrine costs. Hey Jake, just watched your XP grind guide. Currently preparing for the Arcanist class. Would you still consider Twiceborn and Heartland the best option for a new character? Yes, I would. And then XV Ryan X? Is that how it is? He's got a thumbs up. He's ready. So ready to answer, says Peanut. So my question is so I was reached out to by a channel sponsor, right? And they do merchandise, not like tangible items, and some of which are Elder Scrolls related. And I was wondering if, like, for example, there was an extra giveaway drawing, would you guys think that it would be interesting to get something that's like a tangible item versus a, you know, a gift card or a PayPal payment or a Zelle payment? Because right now that's essentially what happens is I Zelle you guys money or PayPal depending on what you have. I just don't have Cash App because that's basically just what people sell feet pictures on. I don't have Cash App. I think that there's no good reason to have a Cash App, but I do have PayPal and Zelle, and that's worked so far. But the only thing is like I would also need your guys' address, and I don't know like what's the demographic of you guys, like to where is that like something that you think people would be comfortable with? That's why I didn't want to assume, because like PayPaling money, like there's no real, you know, it's not like people have any real information on you. So that's why I was curious. That's why I was like, you know, before I go down this rabbit hole of talking to these different sponsors and going down this, you know, well, this rabbit hole, let me see what you guys think about it. Because I know that my audience is primarily older. In fact, there's actually more of you above the age of 65 than there are less than the age of 18. That also assumes, though, that people are honest about their age. But the primary bulk of my audience is 25 to 34. And the second highest age bracket is then 35 to 44, I believe, is the next age range. So there's most of you guys are older, but I also don't know, like, you know, do you want merchandise? Would you prefer money? Like, I don't know. This is just things that I was like thinking about, because like every so often channel sponsors will reach out with like tangible items, and generally I don't think it's a lot. I do reject probably about 80% of channel sponsors. I counted them because I'm actually going to make a video on the second Jake channel about like video sponsors I've rejected. Not like, hey, this company sucks. More so like, you know, these are the types of lines and things that I generally reject just because, you know, there's some real sketchy things that they put in there. Like, if you hand me a 5-page contract, I'll read all 5 pages. If you hand me a 50-page contract, I'll read all 50 pages. Not because I'm, like, intelligent, just because I'm deathly afraid that I'm going to say something wrong in the future and get sued and, you know, they'll repossess my cat or something. I don't know. They'll take my mic arm away from me. So those are things that I've, like, been juggling. But I was thinking about this earlier, because I do get, like, a healthy amount of sponsorship emails, which is always weird, but I want to try to figure out unique ways that I can try to integrate some of them to like giving back to you guys, and that was one of the things that I was thinking of. But like, for example, one of them that like, if the product is good, so this is no guarantee that I would do this one, but I am being sent a smart plug, but it's just like, it's like an outlet that you plug into the wall, for example, and then you can turn the outlet on and off from your phone. So like, in theory, like, instead of like getting paid a certain amount, I could always ask for extras so that I could send out to you. But that's also not merchandise, so I don't know how you guys feel about getting random like pieces of merchandise, because even sometimes I'm kind of like, do I need a smart plug? You know, like, I guess for me it's helpful because I could just like throw the lights on and then I could just turn it off from my phone. But I do sometimes think like it could be a little weird. So you guys seem pretty receptive to the merchandise items because they have more meaning and whatnot. But what about items that are like just tangible items? Like imagine like an as seen on TV product. I don't generally take a lot of these because a lot of times I have the stipulation that you have to send it to me and it has to actually be good because I don't want it to be garbage. Like, what if they send me some gobbledygook, you know? But how's it going, Spicy? We're just chit-chatting about all the good stuff in regards to channel sponsors and whatnot. And I do actually plan to make a video on it at some point too on the second channel. Hey dude, I followed you for a while. I swear every time I find someone cool on ESO, they aren't on PlayStation. Well, that's the beautiful thing though about ESO. It's a community that transcends all groups of people, you know what I mean? I also have to do some guild bids here. Yeah, finally caught a stream. Yes, you did. We're just talking about merchandise, channel sponsors, because like I know I say this every so often, but this is like a different group of people. I don't usually stream this late, so you guys probably aren't all the same little silly goose Americans that watch when I stream like in smack dab in the middle of the day. My goal is not to profit off of YouTube, in that like this isn't my job. Like, I have a job, so like if I can give you guys like cool things, or you know, entertain you or teach you things, or be unique, or you know, do different things that are more interesting, you know, that's more of a goal than to just, you know, suck as much money out of, you know, as I can. Sickwit says, I just like the content. Why should you have to offer any prizes? We're here for Babel, not merch. It's more of like a you know, it like I kind of like I was saying, like it's not, you know, that there's like an expectation that every YouTuber that you watch should like give back, but I feel like, you know, with the you guys have helped me stick through and learn YouTube. Like, you guys are the reason that I was able to improve my video quality. You guys are the reasons that I was able to, you know, get better software. You guys helped me get this mic. You guys helped me get this mic arm, this web camera, this monitor, you know, this Mac Studio. Now, granted, it's like used primarily for content creation, but like everything here is made possible. So like if I do get things like offers, it's not because like, you know, me and my 10 friends all watched my YouTube videos. It's because all of you, you know, helped to create, you know, this like environment where this is all possible. So that's kind of why I want to, you know, give back. And plus too, like, you guys put up with me. You know how often I stream like ridiculously late in the day, or like, you know, I'm like, guys, I'll upload a video later today, and then like some craziness happens at work, and then you guys are like, Jake, where are you? And I'm like, sorry guys, I'm out placing a child. I'll be on at like 11 p.m. It's been a 15-hour work day. So sometimes sometimes you guys put up with me also. Plus, let's not forget what my earlier content looked like. Do you guys remember my audio quality? my audio quality keeps me up at night. So like, you know how like some people, they'll like flash back to like embarrassing moments from high school or middle school or work or whatever. I'd have these moments where I'm like, my audio quality from my first videos. I say first videos like it wasn't like the first year of videos. Even like, where am I going? My brain is like having a conniption. But even like my like first year of videos, my first video that like blew up, even the audio quality on that was like pretty cattywampus. So thank you for putting up with that. By the way, as a quick side note, I was talking to, so I work for CPS, for those of you who don't know. That requires a lot of courtroom and, you know, testimony and whatnot. And I was talking to one of the court reporters, and they were like, you sometimes use some interesting words. And because I've literally said the word cattywampus and like doohickey, or like I'll say like the most off the wall words sometimes, and they're like, do you know how hard it is to spell that? Melinda says, love you, Jake, love your voice and love your videos. Some people just aren't people. You are, thank you. Hey, no problem. I also don't know why you guys only pop up on my phone, which is where I'm reading it. That's why I'm like staring at the ground pretty much. Personally, I think if your intentions are to return to the community in a way of a giveaway, it's best to go with the offer beneficial to your viewer, example, controller, keyboard, etc., or ES related. Makes sense. And I think that that's definitely a good way to look at it, or there could be options too. So for example, say like this company that's sending me a bunch of smart plugs, right? Where let's assume that I like it and it works, you know, but so let's assume it's good. I'll give you the option too. Like, hey, would you prefer an ESO gift card, crowns, money, or a plug? You know, all about equal value, I guess. As long as it's not some random company off the streets of Taiwan. I do get a lot of offers from Taiwan. You'd be surprised. Actually, the offers from Taiwan aren't the ones that worry me. It's the ones from China that worry me because, fun fact, pretty much every Chinese company, and this is probably like, somebody's probably scanning this live stream right now, and I'll never get a channel sponsor from them, but I plan to talk about this on a video on the second channel anyway. Pretty much every contract for any Chinese company basically states that you can never talk bad about the Chinese government ever. And if you do, you can never, like, you can never get paid, or if you have been paid, that you owe the money back to them. Thank you for the Twitch follow, Miss Constance. Welcome to the squad. Big shout out from Craig and Angela in Australia. See, Craig, I picked a good time for you. Hello. How's it going? It's going good, Solo. Yeah, who can you trust? Says Melinda. It's difficult. Company wise, it's very difficult. That's why, like, I probably have an 80% rejection ratio for channel sponsors. And you can call me Miss K. Will do, because I'm terrible at pronouncing. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you definitely know that my ability to pronounce words is not the greatest. But isn't that scary? Like, that a mobile game, for example, will be like, hey, would you be interested in, like, sponsoring this mobile game, this for example, and like we'll pay you all this money, and then but if you read the contract, it's like you can never ever say anything bad about our government, and it's like, what? Why? Like, and then you just think to yourself, like, I didn't plan to, but like, what if I'm on stream one day and like something bad happens, like, China, like, does something bad? I mean, they kind of do that pretty often. I don't want to be like LeBron James, where every time, somebody brings up like the situation in China, he has to, act like an astronomer and be like, what's going on up there, and pretend that he doesn't hear anybody. Your pronunciations are part of the channel. Thank you, Dave. It's just weird, Even like the whole, like, you have to like our product. It's like, but what if I don't? Do I have to like give it back? Do I still have to go through with it? Like, those are the things too that kind of put me off, because they're like, well, if we send it to you, you have to sign the contract and then we'll send it to you. And it's like, but what if it gets here and it's bad? What do I do then? Like, I don't know what to do. One of them was actually a chair company, as you may know, where you sit on a couch. So I was like, man, it'd be real convenient if this was a good chair. But I was like, I don't want to be signed into a contract where I have to like something against, my judgment. I never see positive feedback on YouTube about somebody talking about CP. How is important to high level? What do you think? So as far as champion points, this is my rule of thumb for champion points. You don't need to stress about champion points until you get into higher end content, with the exception of 160. Once you hit the 160 threshold and you can farm pretty much every set that you'll need, you don't have to worry about farming champion point levels specifically, unless you start getting into those higher end dungeon hard modes. Sometimes then it can be really helpful to have like a lot more champion points. But even trials, like you can do veteran trials like VAA or Hell Raw Citadel on veteran without being a crazy high veteran level. But what I would say is between like 160 and 800, it will be trickier to do like certain hard modes, and it's going to be tricky for you to really go into some of those harder content. And when I say harder content, I mean like harder content. Like you could still easily do like normal Sunspire or normal Cloud Rest at 300 CP, because a lot of trials are much more mechanic heavy, and a lot of your DPS is tied to your ability to parse a rotation well, which most people, I think, don't necessarily give a lot of credit to. But because there's this general assumption that if you're like a high champion point level, that you have your shit together and that you know how to do X, Y, and Z, which is probably generally true. Like, I certainly know more about ESO, this last 100 CP levels versus this new one. But it's not a hard and fast rule, in that you could still be a 300 champion point with all the right sets and parse really, really high and hit high numbers. If you don't like the product, it would be hard to talk positively about it. By then, you're already biased, and it would be seeing your face and hearing your voice. But even that, I actually don't fear that, because if I didn't like it, I wouldn't put it out into the void. More so, my fear is that I have to agree before they send it out a lot of times. And I just don't like that at all either. Like, I don't like you have to commit to this and then we'll send it to you. Thank you for the tier 1 subscription, Kelthrax. I think I actually just seen your name flash across the stream. I do try to add all you guys back, so I will do that before I forget. But I also imagine that if your Twitch name is the same as your Xbox name, you're not going to kill me for flashing you across the stream. Morning, MBBO. So crafting that is a good question, because this is what was in the armory. So it looks like it's got mount speed. What was the big focus? Oh, so this seems to be the focus on furnishing plans. What's this? Oh, this is fishing / furnishing plans. This looks like this is the build out that I use when I am fishing / looking for furnishing plans. So when you're building your green tree out, I generally will suggest that you can flip different things back and forth, because, like, for example, Homemaker is OP, and so is Real Technique, especially if you're fishing. And if you're like me, you actually want to actually get through your fishing achievement, which can be painful. I think I've just finished the Daggerfall Covenant, and thinking about doing the rest of the zones hurts my soul. Is there any way to join the guild? Of course. Just if you don't mind sending me a whisper, I can shoot you an invite. And hey, you actually did catch a live stream, Karn. It is an interesting time to stream. I can't promise I'll do it for a super long period of time, but I needed your guys' guidance and your wisdom because, for whatever reason, and maybe it's the 10,000 subscriber mark, maybe it's the, you know, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I put my smile in the videos now, something. But more channel sponsors had been reaching out. So I was asking you guys, like, hypothetically, like, if I was offered, like, different types of merchandise, you know, what would your thoughts be on getting different pieces of merchandise? Like, because there's obviously gaming merch, which would be, like, ESO-related content or other such, like, you know, gaming type things, like maybe, like, controllers, keyboards, mouses. Then there's also other types of merchandise that's more so, like a smart plug, for example, because that was an example of like something that's being sent to me that I can then review free of my own opinions, which is always nice. So you're talking about that also. You know, would you rather get like an item or money, crowns or gift card or ESO Plus, or, you know, what's of the different things, you know, would you guys all find the most unique and whatnot? Let me know if you can join off of that. I'm guessing, yep, this should be you. And then welcome. So as a little bit of a preview too, we will be doing this weekend our little obstacle course. Oh, definitely, Melinda. If I took every channel sponsor too, like, it would be obvious. There would be a sponsor also on every video. And you guys would just, you could tell in my voice that I am like, ugh. You know, so I'll give you guys a short preview. So for those of you who play on Xbox, you know, you guys will be welcome to come try out the obstacle course. We'll be giving out a prize. Now, the prize will be crowns. So whoever wins this weekend, the actual course itself will be getting a crown prize. How does it work if we join the guild? Do we get to stay in? Someone only invites us to recruit for other heroes. What if I left the guild to join yours and shuffled elsewhere? That would suck. How does it work? Do we get to stay in? Oh, yeah, you get to stay in. It's not like, you know... I mean, I do, like, cycle people out if they've been active for a long time. Yeah, you know, you guys are all welcome to join. You don't have to join either, too. Like, it's a 100%, you know, up to you guys type thing, too. So no pressure to join either way. And I'm thinking I should have time this week to do a lot of like fun little things. So full disclosure, it's actually my birthday on Thursday, which normally I wouldn't bring up because I always think that a birthday is like a very awkward time. But the reason I bring it up is because for whatever reason, in the state that I live, your driver's license expires the day after your birthday, after like 3 years or whatever. So I have to go to the DMV on my birthday. But the problem is that like I have to like book an appointment and do all this paperwork ahead of time to renew my ID, and then I have to like pray that the DMV can do it on my lunch break because they're never open late that I work. And my so for those of you who also don't know, I was in a car accident in December. So I just finished the temporary registration aspect of it. Now I have to go and get my vehicle inspected because the car came from a state where you didn't have to get vehicle inspections. So now it has to get one. So I have to figure out how to do that also by the end of the week. So those are the only two like weird things I have to accomplish this week. But besides that, like, it should be relatively peaceful. And thank you for the Twitch follow, TraxRD. Our Tam Pickled Fish Bowl is now picked bowl? Is that right? I had to get my reading glasses out here. Still has some benefits when fishing with typo. Oh! And then Woot, happy birthday. Thank you, Melinda. I always find birthdays as like a male in his mid-20s awkward because it's like, yep, it's a day. Yep, it's something. And then obviously I work with a lot of people who treat birthdays as like the most fabulous, crazy, fun time of the year. Like, oh my gosh, it's the happiest day ever, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah. I actually plan to make a video on the updates to the vampire. Because for those of you who don't know, I made a video called "Should You Be a Vampire in 2023?" And then ZeniMax was like, after Jake's video on the vampire, perhaps we should completely change the vampire in the PTS and try a bunch of different things. And I was just like, whoa! I just made this video. Like, let's calm down here, ZeniMax. Like, let's take a breather. Can't we let this go until 2024? Then I can make a new video called "Should You Be a Vampire in 2024?" And I also don't have game clips from PTS. So full disclosure, I plan to just vampire streak to show off the new version of Mistform, and then just pretend that I am using the vampire blink. Being like, yep, I'm a vampire. This is what it looks like, guys. Ooh. Yeah, I literally, I uploaded the video, I go to Facebook, and I see, the first thing I see, ZeniMax announces vampire changes on PTS, and I was like, oh, why do you do this to me, ZeniMax? And then I was like, in the comments, I think in the video, I was like, do you guys want a werewolf version of this video? Somebody was like, you should probably wait until they change the werewolf in PTS too. And I was like, thanks. I mean, I fully understand why they did it. I believe with the Arcanist's ability to like teleport and do all these different things, I think that they're trying to give every class the ability to have a teleport, basically being like, well, you just be a vampire. Because realistically, most people in PvP are vampire. So this is just giving them access to a blink. Can you please do one for fissures on the antiquities? It's just... that's the sound I'll use to annotate your emoji. Vampire was a bit OP with all kinds of effects. It's interesting because, like, on one aspect, vampire is useless for PvP or PvE, excuse me. Like, I was really grasping to figure out like what utility vampire had for PvE. Having a blink gives it some utility. So for those of you who don't know, love the voice impression anytime. Where am I going? Vatestrand. Where's Vatestrand? Over here. There's like this mechanic where like these little guys will have all these chains and they're like coming in on you and they're like, and if you don't kill them fast enough, they blow up and you die. And it's like very annoying because like on the final phase, like if you mess it up or you get stunned and they walk through you, you're dead. So for those of you who may not know, if you're a vampire, you can blink right through that. You could just, or not a vampire, excuse me. If you were a sorcerer, you could just streak right through that line and then they could go in and blow up and it wouldn't kill you because you were not getting captured by them. So it was a nice way to actually not die on Vatestrand. So I guess in theory you could use your vampirism with your blink on Mistform to help you with something like Vatestrand. And there are other dungeons that like have mechanics that you could streak through, but generally when it's a group of people you don't have to really rely on such things. It's much easier to just have more team composition type abilities versus, you know, building out something like a streak. But in solo content like Vatestrand, I think that it can be helpful because, like, you know, when I was a young lad, Vatestrand hurt me in ways I didn't think I could be hurt before. I was double tapping the A button when I was trying to go across the chasm and throwing myself into the cliff. I would cry softly into my pillow at night. you know, unable to complete the boss at the end because I kept making stupid mistakes, and you know, I just felt like a silly goose until I found that you could just blink right through the line, because sometimes it can be tricky, you know, to manage all that DPS and, you know, mechanics coming at you at once. So that's a utility. It's a stretch because of all the, you know, all of the things in ESO of PvE utilization for Vampire. The fact that I can narrow it down to one very specific arena does probably not bode well for it, but it is a thing. I did find something. Do you know when the new lighthouse will be put up for sale, and have you seen the furnitures for it? I love nautical and really love more of it in the game, not just underwater decor that I have now. I personally don't know. I don't know when they're gonna do that, because I think they still have all their little fruity Valentine's Day stuff out. Yeah, they've got like their little rose petals and their wedding dresses, and oh, you want a little music box? Oh, it's a little music. You want a little kitty cat? And I'm like, you know, a steam bath? I don't think I noticed this. Would this be something that I would buy? Let's take a look. So right off the bat, I have way too much of this Leowin stuff, so this already is going against this furnishing pack. I do like this though. This looks pretty good. I mean, this is okay. What in the heck? What kind of utility is this? It's a gigantic fountain? I didn't know this was the thing. Pots. Oh, so it's a mermaid. I was curious as to what statue this was. Oh, it's interactable? Okay, I'll give it that. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, alright. This is pretty cool. Would I buy it? Maybe. I did just install everything that they had in the Crown store as fruity, and admittedly, this is pretty fruity, but I could see myself putting this in my actual house, because I mean, it does look pretty good. Realistically. I'm trying to think where I would put this, though. Well, that's the wrong house. Did I just go to the wrong house again? Let's see if I actually clicked the right one. But to answer your question, I'm not 100% certain on there. And for your fissures question, I could certainly talk about fissures and stuff. I plan to like put out more YouTube shorts now that like YouTube actually has like a purpose for them. So I'm trying to like get a combination of short questions and things that like could be answered. I did pick the right house. Like I could see it going out here, but I also could see it going somewhere up here also. So to answer your question, as far as like fissures and stuff, I could always talk about stuff like that on a like a YouTube short, because I'm trying to like answer some questions on there that could be answered in like shorter form content. Oh, and no problem for the invite, by the way, Kel. I totally missed your message. But I feel like, so I have like this little thingy-mahoozin over here. That's another word, by the way, that if you say in court, the court reporters get upset at you. Thingamahoozin. And I'm like, I could spell it. Thing, you know, Thing. Ma, you know, M-I. And then hoozin. Hossen. Thingamahoozin. But yeah, I have this little thingamabob here. I mean, tell me this doesn't look, you know. She's got a little book. Why can I not jump up? Like, look at this. This is, look, you can even read the book. See? Perfect spot for a mermaid. But if you like books, let me tell you. I'll take you inside here and show you something incredible. All of the books. You ever wanted to know where all my furnishing slots go into? Boom. Gotta head off, but join you later again if you're still online. I probably won't stay on too much longer. But I'll probably... Tomorrow will probably be the vampire video. And yeah, maybe a live stream too. I also think I'm gonna make the video on the second channel, which, by the way, you know, if you'd like to subscribe, it's Jake SGS. It's a secondary YouTube channel where I could talk more about like kind of like things that are related, but not necessarily directly related. Like I wanted to make a video dedicated to like my weird experience with like channel sponsors, and like some of the weirdness that's kind of been offered. So it'd be a fun little place to explore stuff like that, as well as like, you know, like how much was my first YouTube check, which, by the way, is also so cringy because like my first ever video blew up because I made the month that I got monetized, right? Well, I don't even know how to start this. So there was a year one celebration event, and a lot of people were not playing ESO at this time. And when I say a lot of people, I mean the other content creators like your Owlcast, Deltias, Hack the Minotaur. Like a lot of people weren't making active videos. So I was literally getting like 1,000 views, 500 views on videos, you know, grinding it out. Still had my bad audio quality. And I posted this video, and it went to 16,000 views. And I was like, holy sweet Jesus. And the video itself was not very good. I like to think that it was informative, but it wasn't like, you know, there wasn't like, you know, good audio quality, you know, like people look for. It was more just like, hey, here's some information. Good luck and prosper. Which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world. It's just as a little embarrassing looking back. I always find it embarrassing that like some of my worst videos had the most amount of views, which I always kind of drives me insane, just a little bit, because there's nothing really you can do about it. Let me see if I can find that thingamabob. Is that not on here? Where's the thingamhoozin? I was gonna post you guys the channel so you guys could look at it. I posted a little channel trailer, you know, for the other Jake channel. Is it gone? Where did it go? YouTube deleted it. They're like, this is a fake profile. Yeah, it's gone. That's weird. Well, I had it linked. I'm just gonna try to find this real quick. What the heck? Oh, YouTube. Let's see if it finds me again. This is awkward. Sorry, everyone. I don't know why YouTube is being a bunch of little silly billies. There, I'll put it back again. Jake bro, thanks for your helpful videos on ESO. No problem, Red. Thank you for stopping by. Especially at this late hour, which I say late, it could be completely early for you, who knows, but, you know, I appreciate it nonetheless. And thank you for the subscription. Yes, the lust. Oh my god, I didn't even realize this was the book that I stopped on. Oh. This was so this was back like when I was doing like goals and whatnot. I remember reading this book on like an end video. Oh my god, it was so embarrassing. I remember just pure unadulterated embarrassment reading this as an end credit. Hey, how you going? First time to watch you live. Love your content. Thanks, Alex. And you wouldn't use 50 slots for one book cabinet. Well, I mean, sometimes you need, you know, sometimes you need to use all 50. Oh, I see what you said before. If they would let you link together and turn into one item. I agree. I do think that there's a lot of ways that they could like fix the inventory management. I have reached out with my ideas. I also reached out and been like, hey, you know, I have some ideas on how we could fix the thingamabobs. were the pets, because I think that non-combat pets need to be fixed. Oh, that's my own voice. And if you're interested in that other type of secondary content, there is that channel if you guys are interested in checking that out. Where is the cat? The cat is unfortunately asleep. Right here. This is usually when she falls asleep. And the second channel, the video, I don't know if I'll be working late tomorrow. This is always, I don't ever want to like, you know, put out into the world any promises, but I want to make 2 videos tomorrow, one on the vampirism changes and then one talking about channel sponsorships, because like channel sponsorships, 1, are weird, and 2, I like to be transparent on like things that I reject versus things that I look for, because it's nice to just put out in the world, you know, like, hey, you know, this is what gets offered, this is what I reject, this is what I accept. That way you know that if I'm accepting something that, you know, I at least tried it. You know, don't worry, I don't plan to accept like established titles or a VPN, mind you. I'm actually not a huge fan of VPNs, and not because I don't think that they're useless. Let me put that out in the air too. VPNs do have a purpose. However, in the ad briefs that they send you for VPNs, they basically want it to make they want you to think that a VPN is like wearing the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter in the restricted section, that you are just not going to get caught. You got this amazing invisibility on you, when realistically having a VPN is like wearing a mask during a crime that like covers like half your face. Like, it's not, you know, I mean, it's not useless. They do have some purposes, but as far as like data security, they're not really as like hyped up as they really are. Like, they don't do half the things that I feel like get advertised. And like realistically, like, I'll be transparent, I work for Child Protective Services. I've seen people who have been criminally investigated, that I've been a part of in the criminal investigation, who re-pulled their whole Facebook data history, their Snapchat data history, their texting, phone calls, location, everything. They had VPNs. You know what it did to help them? Jack shit. So, and I don't want to encourage you guys to, you know, to be like, gosh dang it, I can't use this VPN to commit crimes and hide myself from the government. Unfortunately not. Not to put that out in the air, but I don't like how, even if a product does have a purpose, like, you know, you could use a VPN, change your country, watch different shows on Netflix. Sure. But don't make me say something along the lines of like, you can just hide all your data and be safe. Like, no. That's not really how that works, unfortunately. Zen's Farm Break, and here's Jake live stream. Well, thank you for stopping by, Jester. We'll probably go for another like 15, 20-ish minutes. I'll just chit chat with you guys. I do have to do a guild bid here though, so I might like switch you guys to like stare at my something else, so I can like put this guild bid in like on the DL, in case any of you guys are little silly billies. Oh, and by the way, so like I am working on the channel banner. But so for some reason that channel banners, I'm gonna switch you guys to Be Right Back. You guys can still obviously listen to me. I'll sit and talk to you this whole time. So I could throw in a guild bid real quick, but channel banners, I didn't realize all come in different sizes depending on if you're on console/computer or if you are on mobile or if you are on computer. Each one of those has a different size for the banner, and it doesn't appear to the same item on the banner. What it does is it actually zooms it in, which is stupid, because I've been trying to make this nice banner only to find out that I have to like redo the whole thing to make it fit. which is infuriating. But I am working on making a nicer YouTube banner. Thank you for the follow to Quarry. You do get a wider Netflix library. You do get that, Tenya. I just don't like, and I, you know, it's like the established titles thing, you know? It's like, I don't like selling half-truths, you know what I mean? Like, if they were just like, yeah, you could just talk about, like, you know... Did I, like, put money into the wrong guild bank? I think I did. This is real awkward. Well. Well, that's awkward. Well, that's take a little longer than I thought. But, what was I saying? Words. I just don't like them to... I don't want to ever feel like you have to say anything that's not true, you know? Let my scant battle pet beat up on mud crabs in ESO. That's actually a lot of times how the bots will, like, kill thingamabobs in the overworld. They'll, like, let their pets and stuff kill it. You guys can all stare at me as I run back to the bank, or go to a bank now. In the zone. Like a loser who put all his guild in the, or all his gold in the wrong bank. You know, sometimes you just embarrass yourself, you know? Actually, you don't know which guild I put that into also, but, you know, potato, potato. Alright, I'll switch you guys back again. Got some top secret stuff going on here. This is what I usually do, like very early in the morning, because I forget to do it at night. So this is like my early morning routine usually. Oh, I think I just prepay. Well, I see where I put it now. I put it into one of my Mournhold traders, so at least that gives me some time extra. Jake, are you a guild master? I am. If you'd like to join, just add me on Xbox or in the Discord. Just put your name in the need guild invite little tab. And then I will shoot you an invite. And don't dissuade by the short break. Be right back. You know, I am here. Don't panic. Just follow the sounds of my voice as I slowly slide in this guild bid and lose probably. My cat is like dead asleep. She's probably like, why are you still up this late? Took a nap earlier, so like, oh, you PlayStation. Ah, it sucks. But, I mean, you know, there's still lots of great, you know, guilds and stuff to join. I always encourage everyone to join as many guilds as possible. Just because I think it's, you know, ESO is such a great social game, you know? Like, of all the games you could play, I think ESO has probably the best community out of all of them. Here, I'll switch you guys back. Here you go. You guys can look at me again. Oy. I mean, she's like dead asleep. Also, the bullies who want me to live stream myself cooking may get their wish. Do you have the Skyrim cookbook? Actually, I didn't realize it's actually not the Skyrim cookbook. I never noticed it. It's actually the Elder Scrolls cookbook. Hang on, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. Hang on. Hold up. Actually, it's the Elder Scrolls cookbook. So, like, it's more, you know, broad than just Skyrim. I thought it was just the Skyrim cookbook. So, you guys bullied me into making something on here, so I will probably live stream myself cooking at some point. I don't know how I'm going to do it necessarily, but I will figure that out. You also have that 110 yet? I mean, it seems good. I don't know how I'm going to live stream it. I might have to record it as a video, unfortunately. But we could always do like a live breakdown, where like I take a video, on like because I have a tripod now. I bought a tripod. I'm taking this YouTube thing seriously. So I'm thinking I'll like take that, plug in my camera, and then I can do, I could then show you guys the video live, or we could talk about it. You could do like a live breakdown, like here I am slicing the onions. I unfortunately couldn't give you a good idea, Melinda, on if the book is good or not, because I've only really looked at a couple recipes. And then Dork says, yeah, would love to join your guild. I have been fixated on Hogwarts. I've been neglecting ESO. Same. I have also been in that same boat because it's such a good narrative storyline. I just want to get through that bad boy. And then Red says, thank you for your service to your job and helping kids. No problem. I mean, it is my passion. So I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do. And thankfully, I get to work with the population that I'm most passionate about. So I get to work primarily with teenagers who are transitioning into like that adulthood stage. And so like I get to do college tours. I get to help them with job interviews. Like there's so many like bits and pieces that I get to help with. Help them learn about building credit, helping them with bank accounts. Like there's so much stuff like I get to like tangible, accomplishable things that I get to do because for those of you who may not know, I used to deal with substance abuse cases all the time, and that is just so draining because like substance abuse can be like, you build and build and build and build. You work through and you accomplish so much, you get sobriety, and then it immediately goes away, and it can be very disheartening. So I'm very happy to get to, work primarily with teenagers who are like transitioning into adulthood and help them like, figure out what their next steps in life are. It's a nice, good way to help them kind of transition, because I was previously dealing with like silly parents who were addicted to substances in their mid-20s, and that was driving me insane, just based on the populations I had. But I mean, it's, I think my long-term career goal is just to like work for a college or university to help, that population, because I think like the rates of like college graduation for foster youth is like 9%. I think it's like ridiculously low. So that's like something that I'm really trying to help figure out ways on how we can help. Wonder if the Scamp recipe has good mud crab stew in the cookbook yet. I still have to even see what's in this one. Isn't there a Skyrim cookbook though too? I feel like I've seen Skyrim cookbook as a thing. Oh, maybe is there two separate ones? Am I crazy? But yeah, that's like what I usually do primarily throughout the days is like, go to court, help with a lot of like tangible things, like, get jobs, financially plan, open bank accounts, college tours. I still have like traditional cases that you're like reunifying or, whatnot. Oh, that's when I was on the substance abuse team, was during the pandemic. Oh my gosh. I was losing my mind. And it's not that like I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for people, but it's also you have to juggle that with like the safety and well-being of like their children. And unfortunately, substance abuse is like the riskiest situation to be in. Like, when you have things like heroin, cocaine, fentanyl around the house, like it can be a very dangerous situation. There was a high profile case, like, where I live, of a baby that was like being neglected, and so it wasn't being fed or wasn't getting any milk or formula or water, and so it found a bottle of vodka and was able to drink the vodka. The situation was just crazy. But and there was another high profile case of fentanyl overdoses for minors because they put their hands in things, and it's just very unfortunate. But not to talk about the doom and gloom, but substances unfortunately are just the riskiest thing that lead to the most child placements of anything. If you've ever wondering like what's the number one reason youth end up in placement, substances 100%. Half the time they even, and I don't want to say half the time, but a lot of times it's, well, you go out in the initial placement, so you say you get a report either from 911 or the child abuse hotline or from a school or youth or whomever, and is like, this person is actively using da 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 da. You go out there, they either appear under the influence or they test positive or they admit, or sometimes you just see drugs out in the open, and then that can be problematic. It was sometimes very stressful, as you can imagine, but rewarding because even like in those situations, I know a lot of times like CPS would get a bad rap, but if you have, so I've had and have had people who have been addicted to substances who've worked with me for 1 year and they were able to get clean and they were able to get really nice jobs. They were able to even get their criminal records expunged. Like they got their whole lives back on track, which if their child was never placed from them, like speaking realistically, they just would have used like heroin for the rest of their lives. But that was like a catalyst for them to be like, I have to get my act together. Because sometimes, like for better or for worse, sometimes having children can be a wake up call for parents, and then other times, having those children removed can be a wake up call also. And it's like we will help you, like especially for young children. So not to go on my tangents here about all these crazy things. What was I doing in this bank? I don't remember. Like something crazy. Oh, I remember. I wanted to look at the furnishings for Galen because I couldn't remember what they had before I fall asleep. My buddy has a job with the county where the bad kids towards their families, the cops, or call him. Or my buddy has a job with the county where the kids are bad towards their families. The cops would call him and his coworkers for help. It's unfortunate. I also don't like sometimes I feel like people use the police too often where they don't need to. Like we work obviously very close with the police for a lot of things, especially if there's like substances or if there's like risk, safety, if there's parents that are going to be charged or have actively sexually assaulted, physically assaulted, or you see injuries, like we'll 100% collaborate. But there are some parents who literally will like call the police on their kids if they don't go to school, and I sometimes it's just like it seems redundant to me because like on one hand there'll be like families who like will never utilize the police ever, even if like a crime is committed against them. And then there are some people who just actively talk to the police and like basically try to have them parent for them. Not to like go on a tangent again, get myself in trouble, because I appreciate everyone. And even like parents that do that, like it's not something that I would ever do. But I do sometimes see the frustration with parents when their parents or when their kids are just so defiant or whatnot. So this is a really nice throne. I don't know why I'm monologuing so much about this. It must just be like in some existential dread for tomorrow or something. I don't know. You guys have got me just going on and on about this. Probably inadvertently also. You guys are like, what is he going on about all this for? Jesus. Oh, you guys made me check my work phone too. Just all sorts of just I'm like, I hope I'm not putting anything out in the world here. Yeah, that is the problem, Josh. That's why sometimes, like, you know, court oversight can be a good thing, though, because it kind of makes them test regularly. If you look, the home goods, the trees without the throne cheaper. Interesting. Let's see. This is 50K. Where's the other? What was the other throne? Oh, look, there's a throne. How much is that? Oh, that's 25. It's an achievement though, and you can put your own throne. That's true too. We have the bath salt. I do love the lava. Wait, I think you're talking about this one though. Hang on, I think I know which one you're talking about now. We're talking about the trees here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. That's much cheaper. 3.5K. That is significantly cheaper. But I am going to go to bed here in a minute. Can I get an invite to the guild? Twitch name is the Xbox name. Yep, I can certainly invite you. Because this will be me putting out into the world that if you guys have ideas or suggestions for videos or content, even if it's not ESO related, because now we got this whole other bad mama jam where we could talk about stuff on. So if you guys are curious about like things I've learned from YouTube or ad revenue or sponsors or how any of that works, you know, I'm more than willing to talk about it. You know, I'm fully a transparent person. I don't believe in keeping anything, you know, from you guys. So really anything that you guys would find interesting is an option these days. Wimzilla says, now it's good to let it out. Said it a lot. Addiction studies, classes, and coping with intergenerational trauma. You're doing what you can, not a lot. Know how. It's truly difficult, but I would say that the one specialty that I have as like a younger individual who talks to a lot of people is I just speak to people frankly. I don't come off as like I always try to come off as someone and, you know, be that person who will meet somebody on their level, because like when I started in this field, I noticed that there was like a lot of older individuals who will sometimes, you know, it's almost like they're trying to be like a motivational speaker kind of thing, and sometimes, well, I'll just speak realistically, sometimes I feel like they talk down to me as like a younger person, because, you know, they're older and they feel like they've like seen the world, experienced the world, and I always just feel like that's a risky approach for talking to people, especially people who are older than you. Like, imagine going and telling someone how, you know, they should live their life. You know, you're already on a, you know, bad footing when you do that. But if you come to somebody and you're like, look, you know, like, speaking frankly, like, I want to help you. Like, what can we do to help see you succeed? Because it ain't working. And that's how I talk to a lot of my teenagers now when they make stupid decisions. I'm like, what in the hell are we doing here? Could a dragon safely take down a giant spy balloon? It depends. Are we talking spy balloons or UFOs? Because apparently there's both of them right now. That would actually be a really funny ESO meme where it's like a UFO and it's like Alduin. But I have noticed that though, like sometimes like you have like those seasoned workers who've been doing it for 20 years and they, I don't know, sometimes I feel like they kind of put down people a bit too much, but I'm a very frank person. Like, I'll call you a dum-dum to your face. I'm like, you're acting like a dum-dum. We keep this going, you're going to be a full-blown idiot here soon. So what can we do to put in place to stop this dum-dumness and get you back on track? That's about what it feels like to talk to me on the job. If you're acting like a silly goose, I'll tell you, like, hey, You're acting like a silly goose. That's the impact someone who's willing to be their equal, not their superior, makes. LOL. I mean, yeah, I think that I just think it's effective strategy, and I think that it's, I mean, that's how people just want to be talked to. Like, you know, when I make mistakes, I don't want someone to like preach to me. You know, I think that it's nice if people, you know, talk to you like, you know, I understand like how you know, impactful and hard it is to overcome, you know, these different types of addictions or substances. I mean, I even deal with people who have addictions to like spending money. Like, people always think that addiction is, you know, substances, but it could be food. Like, I've seen people addicted to eating like unhealthy food. I've had people who are addicted to spending money, and like, people don't realize how bad it is when you're addicted to spending money, because you never have an emergency fund. You never have any money saved up, and you are like 1 week of call-offs or one layoff or one missed paycheck away from like financial collapse. So having those conversations early can be just be so imperative to see somebody succeed in the long term, because a lot of times people don't teach people how to be like financially stable. Like, there's not a lot put out in the world, you know, especially if your parents don't teach you like how to make good financial decisions and how to build credit, how to make an emergency fund, and how to save money and how much money you should save, and, you know, how to, you know, what's important. It's tricky, you know. I'm an ESO shopaholic. I am the same until I maxed out multiple houses with furnishings, and then I realized that I can't be an ESO shopaholic anymore because I have nowhere to put them. Like, I'm gonna have to. I was literally going to have to start listing items on Guild Traders for more than they were worth, so that nobody would buy them, so that it would get mailed back to me after 30 days, and that would be like extra storage for me. Like, it was getting to that point where I was running out of things to put things. My final was on an addiction to religion, or replacing a severe addiction with a religion. That was rough for one of my classmates. I fully believe it, especially if they've experienced one or both of those things too. Because I think that people underestimate like what can be addicting, but I also think that it's like, you know, it's obvious, but it's not obvious. Like, yeah, it's obvious that like people will say things like, you know, some people are addicted to eating food, you know, some people are addicted to spending money, you know, like, it sounds so like easy, you know, and easy to grasp. Yeah, I can also send you an invite here, Josh. But you sometimes when you see it in reality, that's when it becomes real, where you're like I had somebody spend $1,400 on eating out in 1 month because they were just addicted to it. Dave feels attacked by us talking about spending money on furnishings. Did I put that in right? I think I put that in right, Josh. You buy a new house, put more stuff in. That's kind of what we've been humdinging it. Yep, I sat the invite to you, Josh, excuse me. This has really turned into a very existential conversation about addiction and, you know, people's ability to cope with things. Even like, I always get a lot of flack for this. I'll put this out in the world too. Marijuana is also addicting, you know? If you can get addicted to eating cheeseburgers, you can get addicted to marijuana. If you get addicted to shopping at Target, you could definitely get addicted to anything. So sometimes that's something I always have to fight with people also on, especially people who have those like addictive personalities. But yep, I'll send you an invite here too, Dave. What is your thingamabobbin, your gamer tag? I did also so on the second channel, I was thinking about making a video where it was like CPS worker answers Quora questions. I don't know if you guys know what Quora is, but people ask like the dumbest questions on there. It'll be like, if I don't pay rent in 3 years, can my landlord evict me? And it's like, yeah, probably. So They always ask like the most mundane questions on there. There's a lot of CPS ones, so I thought about answering them. And sometimes they drive me insane. Same as my ID. Hang on, let me get you here. Dave. You know what's funny is I have a keyboard, but my cat's like sleeping next to it, so I don't want to disturb her. Demented. Let's say account not found, so I think I got that right. Whoa. My back is killing me. Whew. So, did you get that, Dave? Should I make a separate character for PvP and PvE? Tetsu asked. So you don't have to, because you can use the armory system. Those of you who may not know, the armory is an inventory item that you can place inside your house. And it allows you to switch between different like preset loadouts. So I got the hiccups. I believe it's in... Is it in upgrades? Where do they slap that bad boy? Utility? Where do they put this thing? Furniture? Where do they slap this bad mamma jamma? Where's the armory thing? It's in one of these places. It's a free crown store item. Here's the armory slot. So you get 2 free slots. And then you can pay for extra. Where is it, though, is the question that I am wondering. To myself. Out loud. That I can't figure out. Well, here's the armory slot. And there's an assistant that can follow you around. Is it because I have it purchased I can't see it? Armory slots are an upgrade. Yeah, I see the armory slots. Is the armory also an upgrade? I just can't see it because I've already purchased it. Oh, the Pledge of Mara is on sale. You know, get married to your loved ones. I did a video, by the way, on ESO marriage. Huh. So I don't see it because I think I already have it purchased. But it's a free crown store item that you're able to access. I am just confused as to where it is. Like I believe it's in here. I remember from a streaming and some weirder had asked questions and they put them in timeout. Like, do you ever eating raw bacon? Are armory slots account wide? So no, they're not account wide. Is that the question that got them banned? Like, do you ever like eating raw bacon? Is that the question that just sent the streamer over the edge? It's gotta be in here somewhere. I must not just be. Oh, here it is. There it is. It's in furniture. That makes sense. It's a furniture item. But yes, it's in furniture. You're able to go over and get yourself an armory slot station. Crazy weird questions like that. I don't think I'd ever put anyone in timeout, but I've never really had like anything like super like bad asked to me. I've had like porn bots and stuff like stop by, not banned but in timeout. That's the only people I ever like really like, you know. And I did ban them because they were just spam accounts, but I don't think I've really ever banned anybody. There's been people who've like put some weird things out in the world, but that's been about it. But I also have like a pretty older community. You get a fetish for raw meat. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing, but my world experience is not vast in that aspect. But this is where the armory station is. I am gonna hop off here because I'm a little over my allotted time frame for tonight. I will be making some videos tomorrow. We'll potentially have 2 videos, one on each channel. If you would like to check out the other channel, it is on my homepage, so you're able to stop on over and see if you'd be interested in seeing some more deep dives into, you know, what are some other things that I do, such as sponsorships on YouTube. We'll be talking about ad revenue, how I kind of learned those things, and my first sponsors offers, things I rejected and whatnot. Potentially also some CPS story about how I got a cat. So that'll be kind of interesting to kind of finally tell that story without fear of demonetization on my main channel. So that'll be all stuff that's talked about over there. On this one, obviously more ESO content, focused primarily probably on the vampire changes, because for some reason they decided after I made my video to change the vampire. So that'll be a separate video going over vampirism, all the little bits and bobs and odds and ends of vampires that's on the PTS. Won't be like a new finite video, so we're still working on and seeing if those are going to be official changes or whatnot. So we'll see. I'm a little level CP on Xbox when I'm a PC veteran restarting on Xbox. That's actually what I did too, Josh. So I fully understand what that's like. All my friends played on Xbox, so I ditched my PC character. Well, I guess you're going from PlayStation, but I had a PC character back from beta, and took him. Did not. Well, I didn't take him over. I took myself over. But, dear friends, that is going to wrap up the live stream. If anyone else wants an invite, please put it into the Discord. You can always obviously put it in the YouTube comments, and I am going to catch you guys later. Oh, I'll set my phone over here. Bye, guys. Bedtime. Bedtime, little baby.